Howdy, people, Bart here, and welcome back. Sorry, if you were watching the last version of this and wondering why I just went quiet and decided to go ahead and shut the video down, it's because my next door neighbor was making so much freaking noise that I just could not continue. So, bear with me for just a moment. Okay, and then on top of that, the project that I was working on, that Cindy Studios Vikings package or packet, was about as screwed up as a soup sandwich. So a little bit different. I got the Polygon City Characters pack and the Nature pack in here. See, this is no problem. This targeted perfectly fine. 2 minutes and I was done. The map that comes with Nature, if you haven't seen the Polygon Nature pack, then yeah, you should. Okay, so you look around here. You actually have moving foliage. Most of the foliage that's in the City Studios assets are stationary. This stuff has kind of a wind-blown effect, so it looks a little bit more alive. Particles. How about some butterflies? Really awesome. Nice set of trees. I will say one thing is there is one tree. Oh, and there's a waterfall with effect for the bottom of the waterfall. One of the particular trees has got a collision issue. So if you're using this asset pack, this tree that's right here, you won't be able to get very close to it. There's two options you can do with it. Disable collision completely, but then you'd be able to walk through it. Use complex collision as simple, or create your own, or disable and just put a cylinder there or something that's invisible that is inside that tree. They'll act as a barricade to keep you from walking directly through the tree. You might clip a little bit through it, but those are just some options to deal with that one bad issue. Now, as you look at it, see there's collision issues with a few of the rocks and stuff too. But you look off in the distance, you got clouds in the air. Those are kind of fixed clouds. What I'm trying to do, besides getting stuck here, well, you know what, I'll just do this. You've got this. That's the terrain we're walking on right there. It's just this little part here. But you got this background terrain, which is pretty freaking awesome. It's actually two different pieces there. And looks awesome. Go to your details panel. It's the same basic thing, but if you look at it just right, you might be able to see it, but they're pretty cool. So you can put that in your background. You're still operating in the same general area right here, but if you're running a small map and you wanted something to view in the background, it's a pretty cool way to do it. Alright, so moving quite along here. Let's go back to third-person example map. And we were talking about particles and snow and things of that nature. Run some practical uses. Now, when you look at your particle effects, I'm going to be using the ones from the Polygon Nature pack. And there is a snow one. See there? And what I'll do is I'll actually just drag it in the map and hit play. You don't see anything because it's spawning from there. So if you want to see the snow, drag it up in the air a little bit. You You see it kind of bottoms out. The particles get to a certain point and they just dissolve, which is fine. So we'll just move it down to right there. Doesn't quite cover the entire map. So, what can you do here? Well, what happens if you just zero it out on the terrain and rescale it? Do 5 by 5 by 5. Just do that, right? Well, you made the particles bigger, but not necessarily the area that it's covering. And scaling it doesn't really do much of anything other than make the particles bigger. So how do you get snow to cover your entire map or have the feel of covering the entire map? Well, one of the things we can do is say this. Let's go to our character blueprint. And all I've done is get rid of the extra BS and then add in the get rid of the mouse cursor. So let's go to our viewport. See, we got our biker dude here. And I'm going to click on the mesh, add component, particle system, snow 1. And I'm just going to go ahead and move it up above his head. Go to here, find my snow. So now when we start playing, no matter where we go, we're bringing the snow with us. Now you can see we can kind of outrun the snow a little bit. So it's not the greatest thing in the world. So what can we do? I'm actually going to create a new folder. Gadgets. Go to my effects. Make a copy of my snow. All I'm going to do is just copy that over there. I totally spelled that wrong, but I don't care. And before we start screwing with it, F2, snow 2. Now we go into it. Now, I don't confess to be the greatest person in the world on particle effects and things of that nature. And this is going to be playing continuously. Rate scale, lifetime, initial size, all these different things you can mess with, but the emitter itself, when we're looking directly at it, I'm going to click off of it so we get the overall real-time, update time FPS, warm-up time. Does it need time to kick in? Tick rate, seconds before inactive. If you scroll down, there's delays, max pool size, let's see, trying to find the other one that I was looking for. But let's see here. Editor color, we don't need that. Required emitter loops. This is right here. 0 means that it's going to run indefinite. If you want it to happen one time, you change that to 1. We're going to leave it at 0 because we want it to continuously go. Let's see, your screen alignment. Velocity. A lot of things you can tweak in here. I'm not going to get into doing this right here because, well, I suck at it and don't want to sit here and waste a lot of time on it. Max draw count. Let's see here. Well, I'm not going to mess with it for right now, though. But you can mess with that. You can create your own. You can use that our particle effects. Some have a little bit different method of messing around with them. There's a lot of good videos out there on particle effects, so I'm not going to mess with it. However, I mean, like I said, if I try to change the size to, the scale is actually not doing anything but making the particles bigger. So we go in here, the particles are just a little bit bigger. One suggestion that I had from somebody else was to do the same thing. Add an extra one in. Now, it already selected Snow 2 because I had it selected out here. Does that make sense? Having an extra one here, so it doubles up on the snow effect. So now I got two different sizes, one a little bit larger, one a little bit smaller, and it seems to be okay for moving slow. This is kind of a fast movement speed anyway. But what happens now if we decide we want to walk inside? We don't want snow when we're inside. So we want to be able to disable the snow effect. So instead of it being on and off, what we can do here is, these are both auto activated because we're outside. What we need to do is create a variable. Snow on question mark. Do we want the snow on or off? So really quickly, we don't have a whole lot of geometry to work with. I'm going to grab a box. We're going to make it like so. And we're going to make it hollow. Yeah, that's good enough. And we're going to grab another box here. And X 20. Make it subtractive. I just wanted a door. So we can actually walk inside this new building. So we go inside of a building. We don't want snow to be affecting us. We don't need to see that when we're inside a building. So we need to be able to have a trigger to get rid of that. So let's go ahead and do a blueprint actor. No snow underscore VP. I'm being super original on my blueprints here and names. Add this, and we're going to go ahead and do a box collision. Good box, that's good enough, I don't care. I'm not even going to change the location of it. I'm going to leave it its dimensions just exactly what it is. We'll do this. And one thing I didn't do in the last video is the event tick thing kind of bugged me a little bit. So we have snow on. We have our variable. So what we need to do is right click on our box collision, on component, begin overlap. Again, end overlap. And we want to go from our other actor, cast to player underscore base, which is my player character. Hook that up here and to other actor. And we want to set snow on drag that one in here as well. And off and on. Begin overlap, we want to turn it off. We end overlap, we want to turn it on. So that's the simplest way to do it here. We're setting that variable, but we can do it. How do we check it this way? Well, we kind of can't. So let's do a custom event, snow on. Okay. And for the sake of it, this is off by default. We're not worried about that for right now. So snow on, custom event. I'm actually going to go ahead and turn off auto activate on both of them. So if we go out here, we're walking around, we don't have any snow. So what we can do though also is trigger it in the map. So we want snow to be going on. We can actually come in here in blueprints, open level blueprint, and event begin play. Let's actually go in here and finish this custom event. Well, we'll do that. Cast to player underscore base, and we want to get player character, and from here we want to call this custom event snow on. So we're calling the custom event. We could do that here as well. And we'll do this snow on. And let's see here. Actually, no, we want to do that down here. So we can turn the snow back on. What we're going to do here with this is with this snow on, we'll do another one for snow off. Let's see, set visibility. Well, let's just go ahead and just grab this guy and this guy. Set visibility to true. So when we run the custom event of snow on, that's what happens. We'll do custom event snow off, and Control C, Control V, paste that in here, connect those down here as well. uncheck that. And we'll just do snow off. So when we overlap with this box, it's going to go to our player character and run this custom event. When we leave it, it's going to run this custom event. Okay, have I confused you enough? So we have no snow. That's lovely. So now we need to run this. And what we want to do is now scale this up. I'm actually going to move it up a little bit. Actually, while I'm getting the size of it right, move it up here. That way I can see what the heck I'm doing. Good enough. And center it up this way. And we'll center it up this way now. So we're creating an exclusionary zone. Now I can move it back down. So when we collide with this box, which we cannot see, no problem. Now when we leave again, we want it to turn the snow back on. Alright, so begin play. We want snow to come on. Snow on custom event will turn on visibility of both of our snows. And that didn't work. Actually, for now, let's go ahead and delete that. Quit trying to be overly complicated. Go to our character, turn our snow back on by default. Oh, right there. Auto activate. Alright, so snow's on. So what we want to happen is when we go in here, we want it to turn the snow off. So when we're inside the building or anywhere where that collision box is, we're not going to have snow. You see, if I jump though, it's going to come back on again. So let's click on this. Make it bigger so it actually fills more of this. Because if you have an area where a player can do something to trigger something, if a player can glitch, they're gonna. So automatically assume that someone's gonna try to glitch and get something to work that's not supposed to be working. So there we go. So it's snowing. We don't want it to snow. We'll go inside. We want it to snow. We'll come back outside. Oh. How the hell did we get through the damn box that way? Okay, you guys saw that, right? I glitched right through the damn wall. So, it still works outside. Move around. It's good. As soon as we walk inside, the snow stops. Walk outside, starts snowing again. Simple enough. Okay, that's weird. Alright, any questions on that? Turning snow on and off by location. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, that's that. So when you go inside, you don't want to have to deal with, oh my god, How do I make the snow stop? And it was just that simple. Um, I can't stand. I hate noise. I hate noisy people, inconsiderate people, that kind of stuff. But I hate quiet maps. So if we've got particle effects and stuff like that, yes, maybe there's no sound from snow, but you might need wind or whatever. And there's no sounds to go with anything in here. Um, the City Studio stuff, they will come with some particle effects, but they won't come with sound effects. No big deal, because there's plenty of sound effects out there. I mean, worst case scenario, you go to add new feature and content pack, starter content, add a project. It'll take a little bit to load up, but you can always use the ones from the starter content. Remember, all these assets you get from the marketplace and stuff, once you've purchased them and they belong to you, you have the rights to use them. So if you know that there's a sound effect in an asset pack that you've purchased from the marketplace, use it. You have that right. Starter content. You want to get in the habit of using sound cues and attenuations. So, what's the deal with attenuations? Let's set up a campfire. Okay? I want to put a campfire right there. I can do that a couple different ways. The way that I'm going to do it is into my poorly spelled gadget folder, and I'm going to create a new blueprint. Actor, campfire, BP, and now I want to find in the nature pack here, meshes, let's go to props, campfire. I'm going to select it right here. We don't need you, we don't need you. Now I come back in here and I click on add component, static mesh, and there we go. But now we need some particle effects. We need fire. So let's go ahead and go back to our effects. Go to fire. Sorry. Beavis and Butthead throwbacks. So we want to add this. Add a particle system. You can see FX fire. It's already selected. So that's that. We already have a fire. We're good to go. Compile and save. We want to add another component. Let's go to our starter content, audio, fire cue, add component, audio, fire cue. Now you see these circles, okay? We don't have any attenuation in here just yet. Let's go up here to our gadget folder. Now we take this, throw it out there, hit play. It's got a built-in attenuation to it, or an overridden attenuation. So I can hear the fire. Walk inside, don't hear it till I get close to the door. Walk outside, there's snow. I can hear the fire, I can see the particle effects. And you can also do the same thing if you want this to be smoking. So what I'll do here is I will left click, drag, and copy. Hit F2. Campfire _2. Go into that one. And I can get rid of that. Go to the fire, change that over to smoke. So it's just smoking. The fire is out. We could add that smoke onto it as well if we wanted to. So it's smoldering. Let's actually dump that. And Come on. Go back into our campfire, our view, and let's add the smoke to it. Add component, smoke. Click back on it. We don't want it to be right there. We want it to come up a little bit. And let's actually cut it in half. Don't like the look of it. It doesn't seem to be coming up just right. Alright, close enough for government work. So we have that. I'm actually going to get rid of the smoke. The fire was good enough. Any questions so far? Because this was actually by request. This wasn't just something that I wanted to make. Interesting. Rain. Got some blowing leaves. But, you know, if nothing else, like I said, this is a decent way of setting up a simple snow effect where you can actually turn it off when you go inside, turn it back on when you come back outside. If you've got another larger particle effect that would work, then go for it. This just happens to be what I've got to work with. Let's see here. Polygon nature. Terrain. Got that sky dome, which is actually pretty cool. You can actually bring this in here, but you can't see it. Now if I zero it out, you definitely can't see it. So what I found that for me, actually, whenever I'm going to use this, I end up having to raise it way up if you want to be able to see the thing in the background. I mean, I'm 13,000 right there, and I can only barely see it over that. So, and there's over 25,000 right there, just so I can see outside of it and I can see the terrain out there. Of course, these walls are kind of crap anyway. What's always bugged me is the third-person example map is not even freaking zeroed out. I like everything freaking zeroed out. Damn, my camera's on 4 and it's hauling ass. That's why I generally put my own floors down. Let's go ahead and no. Alright, so we got nothing in here now. Yeah, screw it. River, ice. ground mound large. Let's just do that. But there's so much stuff you can do with this. I'm actually going to put everything back. Control Z for the win. Of course, everything now is floating in the air because I changed the height of everything. And you. Put that back on the ground. I don't even want you guys. You can go. So this stuff still works. Props. Yeah. See, I'm not worried about building a whole map right now. I mean, I could sit here and get complicated with everything and put together a full map, but not so much worried about it. If you guys don't have any questions whatsoever, then I'm not going to sit here and just keep spitballing. Sun showers. Diagnostic plane. Okay. There's an arrow. Have no idea why this camera is so freaking fast right now. I did not change the speed of it. Yeah, no, the Cindy Studios assets, I've been using them for a while now, and I like them. They allow you to rapidly, even if you're not going to use it for your final product, I mean, seriously, you can rapidly throw together a map and get an idea of what things are going to look like before you put your final characters in, or final terrain, or final anything else. I like them. I think they add a nice touch to the games. And they're, to me, are good enough for a final product. Because I kind of dig the whole low poly vibe. Because the more realistic you try to make your game, the more realistic you're going to have to make your game. I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense, but honestly, if you try to make your weapons and your cars and your buildings look ultra realistic, then you're going to end up having to continue with that. And you're always going to have someone say, well, you know, and I'm big one about gun stuff. If you're going to put a gun in a game, make the damn thing look the way it's supposed to look. If you're going to try to go for a realistic game and realistic gameplay, you better have your shit together when it comes to your firearms, because I will nitpick the hell out of them. Because I like guns. Unfortunately, we got a bunch of little weak turds out there in the world that insist on shooting up schools and churches and shit like that, that keeps the news media to where they can demonize, you know, a firearm. Guns are evil. They're weapons of death and destruction. No, they're not. They're just inanimate objects. It's the idiots who misuse them that are the problem, not, you know, you look at shit like Alcohol. How many people die every freaking year from alcohol-related incidents? You know, drunk drivers, I would probably venture to say, kill more people every year than guns in this country. We saw what happened last time they tried to outlaw alcohol, right? Prohibition and all that stuff, that didn't work too well. And then again, it came into the fact of people misusing firearms and, yeah, well, you know, gangsters, which, yeah, we won't get into that crap. So, yeah, if you guys get questions about stuff, just drop them in Discord. Let me know. You know, shit, I'm going to have to either close out the project. Camera speed is set at 4. That's where it always is for me, and it's never this freaking fast. Let's go to terrain. Let's see. Riverside. I actually have a project that I need to get my ass back working on. And, you know, I can come up with 1,000 excuses of why I haven't worked on it. But I need to quit making excuses for it and actually just get in here and do it. And honestly, what I should be doing is working on it while I'm doing just a generic stream. That way I can sit here and run my frickin' mouth, answer questions as they come up, and actually be doing something productive. Because this is just piddling right now. Could do all kind of stuff in here. Get effects, terrain, river, right here. Yeah, it baffles me of why my camera's moving that fast. I guess, you know, probably adjust it up and then back down again. Just see if I can get it to tame itself. Go 4, drop it down to 3, play to kind of neutralize it. Alright, that's not bad, but let's take it back to 1. Let's rotate it. Didn't like the direction that water was flowing. So now, let's try this way. It was, I believe, 6. So now it actually looks like there's flow to the river. Now, I don't have a sound effect for water and waterfall. I do, but I'm not going to load them in for a temporary project like this. But I know that in the audio there is a smoke sound effect. So instead, I'm just going to put the smoke cue So it sounds like something. Sounds like water. Alright. Good enough. You guys are being quiet. You guys get quiet like that and are not talking and not asking questions during the stream, then I'm just not going to keep broadcasting. I do the live streams so that while I'm doing these, you can say, well, what is this? What is that? Or how do I do this? How do I do that? You can ask questions while the stream is live and be able to get responses. And since the all my live streams are recorded, so you can come back and watch them later. You have some method of coming back and saying, okay, well, what did he do during that stream? You can always come back and watch it later. Those little Easter egg things. Throwing little small details in. So that when you look at a map, you may not notice it. And then later on when you come back, it's like, oh, hell, I didn't see that before. And yeah, that kind of stuff. Easter eggs. Little stuff here and there that you wouldn't normally consider as part of the map and necessary for the map. But when you do see it, it's like, oh my god, there's a skeleton underneath the water there, or in Pirates, and I could probably load it in, but in Pirates there's a shark and I think some fish. And you've got a base animation for the shark just for swimming. Kind of wish there was an attack animation with it, but there isn't. But you can actually go in there and do a base roam AI behavior and be able to let the sharks at least swim around. Which I thought was pretty cool. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and save all. We are going to do a quick build so we can build our lighting on this, even though our little house or building over there has nothing on it. Yeah, I wanted to use the Vikings one, but it was just... the characters were just so screwed up in the latest revision that they were just unusable. Way too much going on with trying to get them to work correctly because it had two different versions of the skeleton, two different versions of the skeletal meshes, and it's like, you know what? Done with you. Oh no. Light map UV is overlapping. I don't care. We accomplished what we needed to accomplish. We turned off snow when we go inside. Comes back on when we go outside. Do a couple sounds in there. Got some particles. Since the particle is attached to the character, the snow follows us. We'll always be in the snow. There's actually two of them that's attached to me, so that there's some larger and some smaller particles for the snow. Couple sound emitters. So, that or that. There's no... Let's see here. There is some new things in 422 lighting-wise. Not going to get into it, but really cool. For now... just so I have something for lighting in here. Bring in the ceiling light. So we got a light in here. Nah, not much. Alright. We're good. Thank everybody for watching. Thank everybody for being so damn quiet. So if you got questions, like I said, this is the time to ask them as while I'm streaming, so that I can actually break it down and show it in the stream. Otherwise, coming back later and saying, oh, by the way this, oh, by the way that. Yeah. Again, the biggest thing we did over the other video was we created custom events instead of using event tick. So now that whenever the example of in our gadget, the trigger, when we overlap the box, it casts to our player character and it runs a custom event on the character, which is these two custom events. And creating custom events is simple as right click, custom, you type in CUS and then hit enter. There you go. Frog pecker. And that custom event can be called anytime, anywhere, from pretty much anything. And inside the custom event, you can run anything. Anything you're going to run off of an event tick, event begin play, an input action, or whatever else. You can run this right here, and whatever you want to do from that. If you want to make your character become invisible, or you want to become a pretty girl, or whatever you want to do, it's like, let's grab mesh, okay? And our mesh, we are the biker dude. We do this. Let's actually change the name to, instead of frog pecker, let's call it swapper, so we have a respectable name. And then on here, we want to set skeletal mesh. And we want to set it to something really amazing. So now we've got this. So in here, we can run this custom event just simply by calling it. So snow off. Whenever we just shits and grins, because I'm getting ready to delete this project anyway. Now you just type it in, swapper. There you go, and you can run that custom event. So now we go in here. Amazing. We're the biker dude. Run around. There's snow everywhere. We walk inside, and we're a frickin' hot dog. But we're a hot dog with no snow particle effects inside. Now we're a hot dog with snow. So, okay. We're good. Thanks for watching. We'll see you around.